Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Tim Gillette. Welcome to Simple Easy Events, a virtual event experience to help the entrepreneurs, the self-help person, and those going through whatever they may be going through in life. My name is Tim Gillette, and I've hosted things like this for the past 15 years. In 2023, I decided to take a break from it because, it got a little bit overwhelming. I got to admit, it was a little bit tough for me. So I decided to take a break and kind of study life. And I want to tell you a little bit about the story of why we're here and why we're going forward with what we're doing. I realized that looking at my life in 2020, when the pandemic happened, was the most productive part of my life I ever had. Now, it was not my most successful business, but it was my most productive business. I was able to do more, act more, get more done in a matter of a day than I ever thought I could do. And I think maybe when most people look at the pandemic and go, oh man, that was a tough time in America. Wasn't. It was a growth time in America for those who are in the self-help industry. Now, 2021, I sat in my mentor's living room in his elite mastermind and coaching program. And in front of his elite members said, that's it, I quit. I'm done with this industry. It's not going anywhere, blah, blah, blah. And I was sort of walk out the door. The person I got to tell you that was the person who encouraged me most was, many of you know him. His name is Michael Butler. He's a publisher out of the Texas area, and known Michael for years. And Michael said, no, he said, Tim, when you're fed up with something, that means it's time for you to make change in that industry. I've dealt with this over the past few years of dealing with things that frustrated me, things that bothered me, and things that were like, and it's like, A, I could fix it, or B, I can go cry. So I basically retired from speaking. I don't travel to speak anymore. I will do virtual speaking. I will do stuff here in the Dallas area, but that's about it. Now, I'm not a traveling speaker anymore. I'm not interested. I don't care if you're paying me $1 million to come speak at your place in Bucktooth, Iowa. I ain't coming. It's just not worth it to me. Not what I want to do. And I learned that about myself. A couple of things that I learned about myself was I love being cooped up in my home. I love being in my office and being productive and being creative. I've always had these notebooks over the years, and I'll probably show them more later on today. It's like I've always wrote down little things. All right. And I've got about 6 to 10 of these things in my closet over here. Of course, mine you can always tell because they have some cool front like this or a car or something like that. I have been in the self-help industry long before I was working in the self-help industry. And that productiveness actually made me do things that I love and find things that I love. Now, as I retired and realized I'm not going to go out and be a traveling speaker, I do realize something, that my actual mission was to present and give a stage for those people who I really am passionate about helping. Some of them are startups. Some of them are new coaches. Some of them are new car detailers, which I was in that industry for many, many years. Some of them are new Christian, Christian men's groups. Some of them are women's anti-Christian groups. You know what I mean? I love getting into these groups and finding people who are in the business of helping people. In 2023, I put something out to my email list and said, hey, are you interested, or what are you interested in getting help in 2023? And the overwhelming response came back that people said, well, I need an affordable website solution. So we created a company with affordable website solutions. One of our speakers today, our keynote speaker today, actually is a website customer. We do her website for her, all right, and we're in the process of creating a brand new speaker page for her, which I'm sure we'll be able to give you a little highlight of it later for her, because she's a great, I consider her a great friend, as well as a client that we help with her website. I've watched her business grow because we asked our group, what do you want? And they said, this is what you need. So we said, okay, let's create it and go do it for them. When it came to the self-help industry, I realized about the 2021 area that in my life, that as I got excited about things and got the most organized I'd ever been in my life, I realized those systems mattered to me. So I developed my own systems. I had it, and I don't even have it up here today, and I usually do to show it. I have a what do you say? For a self-employed person, I have a whole to-do sheet. and I have them out for everything, and I just don't have them put up there. I should have brought it up here to show you guys today, but I've shown it a million times on doing these virtual events. And it became fun. Became fun to get so organized and so good that I went, I'm in. So now I go create new things and I get disorganized and I got to go create an organization for that new thing. But that's what I love doing. The biggest thing that I learned about it, though, was I had to learn to have an inner peace. Have an inner peace about what I do. I'm okay with doing this event, and I know this is kind of the one that we threw together, and I really I thank God for the 3 speakers who actually said, "Hey, man, yeah, I'm in. I'll do it. I'll come in. I'll do it." And they're going to be here today. You're going to hear from them because of the fact that we wanted to relaunch this again, and we didn't know who was going to show up for the first time. Now, during the pandemic, we actually offered the Simple Easy Events VIP program, and we'll offer it again. I just don't have a link for it. For today, we're just broadcasting this out, and we're going to save the recordings and put in there. But during the pandemic, I believed so much in helping people that I created that program, and I said, hey, you get it $20 lifetime. You get to watch the recordings of everything we ever do for the rest of life. And we created it, and a lot of people jumped on board. And we have an audience of 225 people who will get the recordings for this because they joined. And it's there. They want to show up and watch it live. They get the link to come in here and watch it live. They want to watch just the recordings. They watch the recordings. They want to see our great speaker, Steve, our great speaker, Jen, or our great speaker, Gina. They get to go watch just them. We created it to help people. I learned the most valuable lesson in this process over the last 2 years. And that lesson is ask people what they want and go get it for them. Ask people what they want and go get it for them. That's all we did. We asked people what they want and we went and got it for them. So even down to the point that our speakers, now today there are 3 experienced speakers and I know all 3 of them personally. But in the future, you want to meet with me, you want to apply, I'm going to give you an opportunity to come out and speak to my audience. Why? I'm going to give you what you need. You need a place. You need a place to share. Maybe you need a place to share a new speech. Maybe you need a place to share a new brand. Maybe you need a place to try it out. That's what this is going to be. Not going to be set on a certain theme. Yes, it will, but you know what I mean? Our new framework that we want to call this is learn and lead. Learn and lead. You're coming here to learn, and you're going to go out and lead the world. Maybe your learning is, I got to come and stand in front of a microphone for the first time. Great. We're going to give you the opportunity to do it. That's what we're going to do to help people. Now, our 3 speakers we're going to have today, Steve Reed is going to be our first one here. Steve is a great guy. I've known Steve, Steve, I want to say, what has it been about? Probably about 10, 15 years I've known Steve. It's been a long time I've known him. All right. We met through the Ziglar group, which as many of you know, that's how I got into being speaking. And he's going to come and share today. I don't even know the outlines of what these guys are going to share. I'm giving them free rein to talk. And the second speaker today is going to be Jen Perez. Now, I met Jen during the pandemic a couple of years ago. She showed up to one of Craig Duswalt's things and became friends with her. And now Jen and I kind of help lead 2 different Master Networks chapters here in the Dallas area. And got me huge into Jen's one of those foundational people, got me huge into Master Networks. Love her. All right. She had to change her brand over the last year. All right. Due to some complications. Maybe she'll share that today. But she figured it out. She's someone, I met her husband, I met her kids. She's someone who's a go-getter. She's out there trying to figure out life. And in the meantime, she's bringing a group of people behind her saying, hey, I figured this out. Come with me and let me help you. And then we have Gina Covelli. Gina I met Gina through another friend online who said, hey, Gina needs a website. And was connected Gina to me. And we talked, and she decided to trust me with her website. And I truly, I call her website the coaching model website, because she told me what she wanted and we just created it for her. And she has a great message. She talks an awful lot about self-love. Self-love. She's a self-love coach, I think is her design. But she's taught me by reading her blogs. Oh my God, Tim, you're doing that. You don't love yourself enough if you're doing that to torture yourself. So I'm sure she's got a great message to share with today. I'm looking forward to hearing each one of these guys' messages. They all came here. They all said, hey, Tim, we'll be part of the first one. And I want to honor them for that. I want to thank them personally for doing that and on air and letting you guys know how much I really appreciate these three people who are coming in to share on our first one. Now, as in between each speaker, I'll give you little details as how we're going to grow this and what we're going to do over the next year. We're going to have fun with it. I'm no longer going to be stressed about it. I'm having fun. And that's what life should be. So what I want to do now is I want to bring up our first speaker. All right. And again, guys, I'm not one of these speakers, so you know that reads their introduction to you. No, I'm going to give you some personal notes about this guy. Steve Reed is a good Christian man that I know through the Ziglar Network, and he leads both a men's ministry as well as he's in the speaking world. He's got other businesses going on. All right, he's a plugged-in gentleman who sincerely enjoys helping people, men, women, all ages, all kinds. All right, dedicated to be. He's got a ministry that he works with people on, as well as a business. This is what I think people should do. They should have a charity or ministry, and they should have a business. And that is exactly what Steve does. Steve's going to come in here and share with you this morning, and I don't know what the message is. Let's bring him up on screen and have a chat with him real quick, and then we'll bring him in. Hello, Mr. Steve.
Good morning, Tim. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good.
Hey,
surprisingly, I'm good.
I am honored to be in the maiden voyage. I'm thrilled to pieces. Yeah. So, here's a funny thing. I was struggling over the past few days as to which presentation I was going to do. And at about 10 o'clock last night, I had it nailed. I knew exactly what I was going to do. And when I woke up this morning, out the window.
Steve, I've done that 2 seconds before I went on stage.
I understand. You mentioned that. I was last minute asked to do a presentation for the Ziglar Group on Monday mornings. I mean, literally last minute. And I'm scrambling, and I know exactly what I'm going to do. And just before I was going on, I tweaked the message. Yeah. And it made a total difference in the presentation. So anyway.
Well, I know you got some slides and stuff you want to share. I'm going to put you on the clock. I'll put a little flash up with 5 minutes left and then 1 minute left for you. Does that sound good?
It sounds perfect. And by the way, when you get those phone calls for the $1 million presentations, just give me a call. You've got
you want to take them over? Yeah, I'll give them to you. Yeah, no problem.
Happy to.
Between you, Gina, and Jen, get them. I'm sorry, because you're the first, so I'm going to give them up to you. So.
There you go.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, Steve Reed, let him share what you got. I'll be right in the green room if you need me, buddy.
All right, sounds good. Folks, it's been my pleasure to be a coach now for over 30 years. I spent a lot of my time primarily working in the area of personal development things, specifically in the area of DISC and personality temperaments. In 2009, I went through a radical transformation and really started digging into emotional trauma coaching. And I've worked with people that have gone through divorce, through miscarriages, unexpected pregnancies, rejection, abandonment, etc. All of those kinds of things. And I love doing that because I love it when the light bulb comes on for people. But today I'm going to take a little bit different direction. Several years ago, I had one of those aha moments that I was trying to figure out who I was. I knew who I was, but what is my purpose? What is my mission? What is my vision? What am I doing with my life? And I started scouring every source that I could find to find something, some kind of a product that I could use to help keep me on track. And I couldn't find it. Now, yes, Zig Ziglar and Stephen Covey and so forth, all the great names, they've got their planners. But none of them did what I was looking for. So as a result, I developed my Strategies for Success workbook. And I'm going to give you some highlights and some things to think about with this particular workbook. So first things first, Tim has mentioned, and I've mentioned Zig Ziglar on a number of occasions this morning already. One of Zig's most famous quotes was, "Man was designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and endowed with the seeds of greatness." He also said, and everybody knows his most famous, you can get everything you want in life if you just help enough other people get the things that they want. So everything that I've done in this particular presentation is really using those two principles as the foundation. So I'm going to go through some slides, and a lot of this is taken directly out of the workbook. And I highly recommend that you consider purchasing the workbook. It's only $27. It's a downloadable PDF, and you can edit, which means you put together your plans, and then every 60 to 90 days you review to make sure that you stay on track. I'll give you one of the key reasons why. Tim has mentioned the pandemic several times. When you stop back and think, what if in January of 2020, you had your plan for the year, you knew exactly what you were going to do, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of March, the whole world went upside down, but you didn't have anything written down, and you didn't really know what your why was, your purpose, your mission, and your vision. The rules changed, but you weren't adaptable quickly enough, and a lot of people struggled. So why have a success planner of some sort like this? Planning gives you a sense of direction. It saves you time in the long run. When you spend time really focusing on what the plan is, you don't have to be scrambling around to figure out who you are and what you're doing. You know exactly what it is. It helps you to stay better focused on the things that are important to you. And I'll give you a case in point. Several years ago, I was leading a chamber of commerce and looking for speakers for this chamber. And one of the speakers that I got to come in was a pitching coach for the Texas Rangers. Now, this goes back about 30 years. And in the conversation, I asked him, what do you do with your individual pitches? Do you work on the worst pitches, or what do you do? He says, no, we never touch those. We only focus on the top 3 pitches, and we refine those 3 pitches. Those are the ones that we focus on the most. So in other words, don't waste your time thinking about the things that aren't critical for you. Focus on the things that keep you in your sweet spot, so to speak. You can complete more projects. You can complete the projects more efficiently. Main thing on this page is the quote from Mark Twain: the 2 most important days in your life are the day that you were born and the day you find out why. Do you know your why? More importantly, do you know what your purpose is? So you have to define what your why is. Now, this is critical not only to help with our audience today, but this really is critical for coming up to 2025. Now, based on the time frame that we're recording this, we're less than 2 months away from the new year. So do you know what your why is for the new year? So you have to determine what the why is. And I'll give you a scenario that I had with a client several years ago. It was so funny. We were talking about his why, and in the process, I asked him what the why is. He says, I want to buy a new car. Why? Well, because I need a new car. Why? And he couldn't come to it. We finally determined he needed a new car because his wife and his family and neighbor kids needed more safety and security, and that's why he needed a new car. But if he was just going after the new car, it never would have happened. So you have to be able to define what your why is. So I've got 10 different questions that you fill in the blanks. In the PDF, it's a fillable area. So you're going to fill in the blanks that help you define exactly what your why is. So those are some of the most important things. Seek feedback. Talk to the people that you know that you trust, and see if it is in accordance with the values and what other things that people may need or want. So take time to define your why. What is your purpose? If you don't know your why, you can't know what your purpose is. Now, I'm going to give you real quick my purpose. My purpose, because I'm a confident and worthy man of God, gifted in writing, speaking, coaching, and leadership, I can encourage others to live their purpose and seek the Lord. That's my purpose. I can help to encourage other people to live their purpose. That is the fundamental thing that I do in all of the coaching that I do. I want to bring out the best in you. So what is your purpose? There are 10 different questions that you'll have in understanding what your purpose is. Have you defined what success looks like? Have you incorporated your values in your purpose? Do you know exactly what it is you're looking for, and do you review these things on a regular basis to make sure that you stay on track? The next thing is you have to define what your mission is. Now, your mission is more in line with your day-to-day activities, those kinds of things. Your purpose is why you're doing it. Your mission is your day-to-day activities. Do you have specifics? Tim mentioned earlier that he's got his systems down. That's what this is all about. Do you have the systems down in place? So we're going to go through all of those things. Then what's your vision? Do you have a short-term vision, a medium-term vision? Do you have a long-term vision? For some people, a long-term vision is 90 to 120 days. For some people, it's 5 years or 10 years. Do you know what your vision is? And is it in alignment with the things that you are doing? So stop and think about where you are with your vision, your mission, and your purpose. As we continue on, I like spending time talking about your strengths. Another real quick scenario. I had a conversation. I used to be in the printing business many years ago. Had a conversation with a Secret Service agent. And I said, how do you discover the counterfeit bills? He says, we don't pay any attention to counterfeit bills. We look at the genuine article. And when we know the genuine currency inside and out, what it smells like, what it feels like, what it looks like, all the little nuances, we can spot the counterfeits without thinking. So are you focusing on the right things and enhancing your strengths, just like that pitching coach for the Texas Rangers? I also take you through a journey with the Ziegler Wheel of Life. And there's 7 different spokes that we talk about to make sure that you are on track. It's your mindset. It's your spiritual spoke. It's your physical spoke, family, financial, career, and your personal spoke. Are all of those things where they need to be? And if not, what do we need to do to enhance each of those different spokes? I've got action points for you. What has worked for you in the past? But then again, what has not worked for you? What have you tried and it didn't work? Do you continue trying? Do you need to tweak it a little bit? Or do you need to just put that off on the side because that's not where you're supposed to be spending your time? We're going to spend time looking at how you get new clients and what's the marketing that you need to do. So there's marketing planning that you need to structure. One of the other things that a lot of people don't think about is the obstacles that we have to overcome. And I spend a lot of time talking about the obstacles because once you get rid of the obstacles, you can move forward. Now, if you're driving down a road and you've got a little group of ducks that are walking across the road, that's not a big deal. Well, if you've got some bison that are walking across the road, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer. But if you have a herd of elephants, you're going to be there for a long time. So how big are your obstacles? And are those obstacles in a realistic frame of mind for you? So here's another one. Who are the key people that you need to know? If you need a website, obviously the person you go to is Tim Gillette because he's got a system. He knows how to do it. He knows how to make it work for you and, more importantly, for your audience. So those are some of the key things that you want to deal with. So I'm going to start wrapping things up. I'm going so fast. I'm sorry. Albert Einstein gave us a lot of great quotes. Number one, we've all heard this. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. But one that I like even more is we do not solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So stop and think about that. If you created some problems and you're trying to fix things, you can't fix the problems with that same mindset, that same way of thinking. You've got to change your thinking, and that's what this workbook is going to help you do. So you'll have time to reflect on what's really important. What did you learn about yourself as you were going through this? I've got a big section on here about journaling. I've got another section on here about self-reflections. It's just a clean page that you can start writing some things in. What are you looking for? That brainstorming stuff that you need. I'm going to throw something out for you. This is one of the favorite stories I tell with or share with each of my clients. Probably the biggest thing is the idea of making decisions. So I'm going to throw a question out for you. I'm going to give you a teaser. It's not a math question. There are 5 bullfrogs sitting on lily pads. 3 of those bullfrogs decide that they are going to jump off. How many frogs are left on the lily pads? I'm going to say it again. There are 5 bullfrogs sitting on lily pads. 3 of them decide that they're going to jump off. How many are left on the lily pads? It's all 5, because all they did was decide. They never took action. So you may have all kinds of great ideas, but if you don't take that first step, second step, third step, if you don't pull the trigger, so to speak, you will never accomplish the dreams and goals that you have. Great book. Highly recommend it for you. It's by Angela Duckworth. It's called Grit. Came out several years ago. They did a survey or a study, a year-long study on why cadets were dropping out of West Point. And they determined that the number one reason why is lack of grit. I'm going to help you develop those things and create more grit. There's another section on journaling. This is what I was mentioning before, the brainstorming section. Now, I'm going to throw this out, and I teased you with this right at the very beginning. I've got a Black Friday special with this workbook. It's a $27 value. Actually, it's a priceless value, but it's $27 to download. And you will have spaces where you can actually fill in all the blanks and work through the process. Here's the big deal. I'm going to give you a 1 hour, a 60-minute strategy session to help you get on track, not just with the workbook, but look at some of the things that you may be needing to do to address, to fine-tune, so that you can achieve greater success, whether it's in 2025 or in the next 5 years, 10 years, or the next 50 years, whatever it is. So you scan the QR code, that'll take you to my website, and you'll be able to download the workbook from that particular website. Here are a couple of other links that you can download if you want. Here's a bigger link for the Strategies for Success workbook. If you want to schedule a meeting, scan the QR code. I'd love to visit with you. I want to know what your dreams and goals are, so how I can figure out how I can help you to manifest those dreams and those goals. In addition to the workbook, I've got 5 other books. My first one is called My Half Brother. It was the first book I launched back in 2014. It's a story of Christ from the perspective of his half-brother James. A follow-up book, kind of a sequel, is Lazarus, A Journey of Hope and Grace. It's about Lazarus, and it tells his story about how he died, Jesus raising him from the dead, and then also how he became a huge, huge problem for the religious leaders in Jerusalem and all through that area. 3.5 years ago, I had a little skydiving accident. Actually, I fell off a ladder, but that's not as glamorous. And I came up with the book, Lessons from the Crutches, How I Learned Not to Use Crutches as Crutches. And then over the past 30 years of coaching, I've had a lot of clients that have really made a deep impression in my life. And Restored by Grace, the book on the bottom left, that particular book is 10 stories of people that I've worked with over the years. I share a little bit about their stories. I've changed their names and some of the scenarios, but it's a life-changing book. It gives you hope to understand there is hope after the tragedy that you have or the trauma. And then the last book is Who Are You Really? And Who Are You Really? I just released it a couple of months ago. It's the step-by-step formula that I take clients through to help them get rid of the junk that they may have been carrying, the emotional trauma, the rejection, the abandonment, etc. How to get rid of those things once and for all, and then how to replace it with the positive affirmations. In addition, we talk a little bit about DISC and how you fit into that model of DISC. Who are you really? Are you a high D, a high I, high S, or a high C? And how does that manifest itself in your day-to-day life? And how does that manifest itself in the people that you engage with on a regular basis? So I've got the three different barcodes there. I'm also a brand partner with a company called LifeWave. They've got an absolutely amazing product line. It's all designed to help rejuvenate and re-energize you. It actually enhances your life in so many different ways by stimulating growth of stem cells, and helps you get out of pain and helps you with better sleep, better focus. It's not a liquid. It's not an injection. It's no drugs. It's a simple little patch that you wear on a daily basis. So I'd love to visit with you. If you'd like information about any of these things, please feel free to reach out. I am so thrilled to be here and sharing with you on this maiden voyage of Tim's program. Tim, I'm worn out. So
you gotta love it. Yeah. I'm gonna pull your slides out there real quick.
Sure.
All right, remove from the stage. There we go. All right, so now they can see us. But anyway, thank you for coming in, being one of our speakers today, and actually being our first out of the box, so we can actually see how it works. So, but I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you sharing, and I look forward to you next time. When's the next time you speak at Ziglar?
Right after the first of the year.
Huh?
I think it's the second Monday in January.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't know when I am. Basically, she asked me, and I'm like, put me on the schedule wherever.
I thought it was December, and I just looked at the calendar. I think it's the second weekend.
I never look. I just say, I'm available for you. I just don't. She tried to put me on. I want to retire, so I'm like,
I guess 2 years ago, it was a Sunday night. I'm out to dinner with family, and it's about 7:30 at night, Sunday night. And Lori sends me a frantic text, and she says, "Our speaker for tomorrow has laryngitis. Can you speak?" Not a problem. So at 7:30 the next morning, Tim, like you, I've always got something in the can. I've always got 2, 3, 4 different things that I could do. So my biggest challenge is knowing which one is the best fit. And I got to tell you, Tim, I am so excited that you picked the right background color.
Oh yeah.
For you.
Blue. Well, I mean, blue's my color. So and I'll probably get into this other day. Is last weekend I was buying a truck because my lease was out on my car and I had to replace it. And I'm like, I need a pickup truck. I'm out in the country now, and the truck I want, I can't afford. Just being honest, I couldn't afford it. It's way too much money. So we're going through all the other trucks on the lot, and they're like, well, we got this other one here. I said, I don't like that color. I want blue. I don't like it. I want blue. So I got a blue truck.
There you go. Tim, thanks again. It's an honor to be with you today and to help with the maiden voyage of your program.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much for sharing today.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
So yeah, that's our first speaker, Stephen Reed. All right, by all means, check him out. All right, Steve, go in the comments, whether it be in here or in the Facebook thing, and put your information there so they can get your website. All right, and all throughout the day, our speakers are all going to do that, because I want you to be able to follow up with these guys. I'm going to be honest, guys. I make our speakers give a free offer. They have to give you something to reconnect, because the last thing I want you to do is come to my event and find the person. If Steve, if Gina, if Jen are the connection you need right now, all right, and you don't have the opportunity to get a hold of them, or you don't have the opportunity to do something with them. So I make them give you something for free so that you can connect to them, get on their list, all right, start getting great information from them, and find out if maybe they're the person to help you get you out of that funk, all right? Because I'm going to tell you, my coach did that to me 15 years ago. And if he didn't, I would still be in the same funk I was in 15 years ago. He gave an opportunity for me to connect with him personally, and I did it. And it changed my world. So, guys, our next speaker here, great friend of mine. All right. Also a leader in a Master Networks chapter like me. All right. I'm very big since doing my last virtual event that I got involved with Master Networks, and it became a huge difference in my life. All right. And yesterday I sat down with 4 or 5 different guys at the bar in Master Networks and just, had man-to-man conversations. All right. And yes, I did talk sports with Matt Tim show, but hey, Matt, I'm not into sports, but I'm glad you are. And it sucks he's losing at his fantasy football team this year. But anyway, Matt's a great guy. He's a good friend of mine too. He's a great roofer in our town. But our next one here, Jen Perez. All right. And I know she had to actually change brands. Maybe she'll talk about it a little bit in the past year. And it's something very much that it's a lesson I always teach people in my mastermind. Always seek out before you buy a domain name. If it's not your name, like I own timgillette.com, but I can't use the word Gillette because the name Gillette is trademarked. All right. Always, whenever you're picking something, whenever you're picking a brand, see if someone's trademarked that idea. Because there's a chance if it's trademarked, the one thing you can do after you spend hours and thousands of dollars building that brand is have someone come up and go, cease and desist. I'm sorry, that's my brand. I own the rights to that. It sucks when that happens. So Jen did, and she's probably had some great lessons on that. But she's known as the leverage maven. So let's bring her up here right now. Hello, Jen.
Hello.
You have some slides today, or are you just going to share with us?
Yeah, I sure do.
All right. Can you put them down can you put them in and hit the present button and put them down below so I can click them up for you?
Yep, I can do that.
All right. And Gina, I know Gina's in the background. Gina, if you have ones too, just put them in there because they can stay in there. All right. However you guys want. So.
Yeah, it's funny because when you say that trademark, everything you said is totally right. That's exactly what I went through.
Well, I mean, I got a cease and desist from Gillette Corporation. So I'm just saying, I hold that as a proud badge.
Yep. Yeah, while that's uploading, the story is I had a brand. I was at a dinner, just at a conference, having chit chat about business, and this person's talking about these different programs, and she had this program, and I was like, "Oh, that's so funny because that's the same name as my brand." She's like, "Honey, mine's trademarked. You might want to check an attorney." I'm like, "Oh shit." So 3 attorneys later, figured out, yep, she's 100% in the right. We do the exact same thing. And that was after a year of already rebuilding that trademark. And so I definitely went and hired an attorney this time. Leverage Maven has been filed as a trademark. So we're good moving forward.
No, I'm still waiting for your slides to pop up. I'm not seeing them down there below yet.
Okay. It's processing.
There
we go.
Oh, there they come. There they come. We got them. So I'm going to put you on the clock. As I told Steve, I'm going to give you a 5-minute warning, and I'll give you a 1-minute warning. But hey, the audience is yours, Jen. Share with them some great, valuable information today.
Sounds good. Thanks, Tim. And thanks for having me. I really appreciate this. Part of my passion is I love helping to educate business owners, and honestly, more about the cash flow, money side of business, because so many business owners are great at what they do. They're great at the websites. They're great at coaching. They're great at being an electrician, whatever that is, but they don't always know the other 13 hats they wear in a business, finances being one of them. And so being the expert, tell you a little bit about my background. I've been in the accounting industry for over 10 years. And there was a point in my life when I realized a lot of people don't know what they don't know. And to be very transparent, I filed bankruptcy over 10 years ago because of that. I didn't know what I didn't know. So I've learned a lot over the years as I've grown at the next levels, learned about money personally and in business. And I take a lot of those mistakes I've made and turn into lessons for my clients. So Fast Track, I actually was at a full-time job. I left 2.5 years ago. Best decision ever made for my business and my family. And it's been an amazing journey because I now get to do what I love doing. I still have a team that does the bookkeeping and accounting services, but I can focus on really helping businesses transform from that financial chaos into clarity and profitability. So I'm going to share with you guys today a simple cash flow system that you can implement into your business as soon as you get done here. So one thing that I want to kind of backtrack on, though, is money loves a plan. When you're in business, the very first step, I actually call this step 0, is you need to make sure you're separating your finances. Your personal and your business should not be commingled into the same bank account. Now, it can be the same bank, it just cannot be the same bank account. And there's several different reasons. I could probably have a whole conversation on why, but you want to be clear on the numbers in business and then pay yourself out of that into the personal, okay? So that's kind of step 0. And when you have that, it's easier to see and understand what the money is in business and not have to figure out what's separate. So YNAB, I just want to throw this out there for you guys because it's a budgeting tool that I've used for 8 years now. It's their 20th year they've had it. It's an amazing tool that syncs to your bank accounts, helps automate a lot. And it's just something really cool to check into. They do offer a 34-day free trial. And then by going through that link, you get an extra month free if you decide to move forward with it. It doesn't hurt to try it out, see if that works for you and helping get clarity around some of the numbers and budgeting and even forecasting some of your cash flow. There's really great ways to use that. So it's just another resource I love to help my clients with. But I really want to kind of focus on the cash flow piece of your business. So everybody can create a budget. You can use a spreadsheet if you want. But Profit First is a behavioral-based cash flow method. Now, most of us know in your financial statements, you have your sales minus your expenses and what's left over, your profit, right? Well, the problem is that that's accurate when it comes to accounting and taxes, but that's not factoring the human behavior. Because honestly, because of how we manage our cash flow for the typical business owner, we look at our banks and we don't always understand financial statements, right? Or how to use that information. But we pay ourselves from that profit. We spend the money. And so it's like, well, why not increase the profitability, have a financially healthy business, live the lifestyle that you love, right? So in Profit First, if you can't tell already, what we do is we take your sales minus a predetermined percentage of profit first, and then what's left over is what you have to run the business. Because you need to take care of yourself and create a financial healthy business. If you're not worried about making a profit, sounds like it might be a hobby for you. So Mike Michalowicz is the author of a book called Profit First, and I did become a certified Profit First professional back in 2019. This is a quote I love telling people because it is so true, and I feel like I use this every day. A financially healthy company is a result of a series of small daily financial wins, not one big moment. Profit is not an event. Profit is a habit. So a lot of times we create habits in business and it's hard to get out of those habits. If someone's ever tried to teach you how to read a financial statement and you still like, huh? It's because you have different habit. Now, speaking of those habits, it's what I like to call bank balance accounting. Instead of understanding the statements, or even if you do understand them, how to use that information to make better financial decisions in your business, we go ahead, we pull out our bank accounts, pull up our phones, we pull up the bank, we see how much is in there, and we're like, okay, we got this coming in and this coming out, and make a decision based on that information. But if everything's under one bank, right, we're having to kind of figure all that out. And some of us might have spreadsheets and whatnot, but that's why I call it bank balance accounting, because you're checking the bank account instead of your financial statements. Now, Parkinson's law is aligning with this because I'm going to give this in the analogy of toothpaste. If you have a tube of toothpaste and you lather it on just like you see here, brush your teeth, you're good to go. But what happens when you get to the end of the tube? You've got maybe just a little bit left, even sometimes so little that you're having to use like 2 thumbs just to kind of squeeze a little bit out, kind of like a little turtle head coming out, right? And just get that little bit onto the toothpaste or onto the toothbrush. But for some reason, you're still able to successfully brush your teeth. So that is Parkinson's law. The more time, energy, money you have, the more time and money you're going to spend. So we get a raise, we get another client, we start spending more money. Now, I'm not saying don't spend more money. I'm saying spend it not the same amount of money. If you had $1,000 increase, don't increase your spending $1,000. Maybe only 800 of it or 500 of it, or there's different things, right? So that's what Parkinson's law is, and we all do it. Now with Profit First, I'm just going to kind of give you a very brief picture of it. There is, if you really want to know more, you can always pick up the book. Just Google Profit First. There's probably 25 plus books of Profit First for creatives, therapists, dentists, realtors, real estate investors. I mean, you name it, there's probably something that falls in line with you. If you find one like that, I'd recommend that first or instead. But this is really the foundation of Profit First. It's utilizing multiple bank accounts so that when you do that bank balance accounting, you go to a specific bank account to see, do I have the money in there to spend on this opportunity? Yes or no? And there's a lot more behind it, of course, but this is just setting that foundation in place to help you have more clarity around the numbers that are in your business. So there's 5 core bank accounts. And I'm going to go through these each and explain to you what they all do. So your income account, obviously all the income you earn from your business, your sales, your commissions, any type of affiliate or referral fees, that all goes into the income account, okay? And then you have the 4 other bank accounts. Profit. This is my favorite one because profit, A, shows that you're a financially healthy company, and there's so many different uses for that, right? You want to make sure that you are driving a profitable company and have fun with some of that. And I'll talk about this here in a bit more. But then you have the owner's pay. Well, this honestly is what you pay yourself as the owner or owners if you have partners in the company. And you want to make sure, I'm sure some of you have heard pay yourself first. Well, this is how you can do that. You can make sure that we're putting aside a certain amount of money to cover that lifestyle, okay? Taxes, to clarify, this is not sales tax, payroll tax, property tax. This is your income tax. So this is federal and possibly state if your state has income tax. That's what it's for. So it's to help cover your quarterly estimated tax payments and or at the end of the year when you file taxes, whatever you owe the IRS. Because as you're driving profit intentionally and you're profitable, you, unfortunately, Uncle Sam wants his money too, and we have to pay him. But wouldn't it be nice if we saved up enough money in taxes that we had the money to pay for that, whatever that amount is? Let's say you owe, I don't know, $15,000 in taxes. Well, if you saved $14,000, isn't it a lot easier to find $1,000 to cover the difference than the whole 15? Or better yet, if you had 16,000 saved up, you now have 1,000 extra. You have that IRS taken care of. You don't have to worry about them. And you have an extra $1,000. I'd suggest throwing it back into the profit account. Okay. Now, if you notice, these are in a certain order. You want to go to your profit, then your owner's pay, then tax. And what's left over at the end is your operating expense. This is what you have to run your business. This includes your rent, your payroll, right? And office supplies, software, memberships, etc. This is what you have to run the business. And this is why with Profit First, we make sure that you as the owner are taken care of while building a financially healthy company and getting paid to live the lifestyle that you desire. Okay, so excuse me. Some of you are like, well, what percent am I? So with those bank accounts, you will create a predetermined percentage to put into those. This is the general, and this is where if you had a Profit First for XYZ industry, they might have different numbers here, okay? Dentists, for example, they have a lot of overhead. This will not work for them. But if you look at it, you find out which column your revenue is in, and these are the recommended guidelines of where it's called, we call it targeted allocation percentages, and these are the percentages you would use. So if you're starting brand new and you don't have business, like you're just a brand new business, then yes, absolutely go right here. However, most of us have been in business. We've already built in habits. We already have expenses, etc. And so you need to first see what you've been doing. What percent have you been paying yourself? What percent has been to taxes, OPEX, which is operating expense? How much have you putting aside to profit intentionally? And you start there. When you start there, you're not, this is what I didn't do when I first did this. In 3 months, I actually had, and how I get introduced to Profit First, I had the question of, how much should I pay myself? And everybody told me to read this book. So when I implemented it right after 3 months, not only did I have that question answered for me, but I was able to drive profit intentionally, save taxes, because like I said, Uncle Sam wants to get paid too. I had a deeper awareness of my expenses, which I thought I already did as well. So what I did that I don't recommend is going straight to these percentages if you've already been in business, because at that point 5 years ago, I was putting 5% to profit. Well, I hadn't been putting money aside to profit. So where do you think that money came from? Probably the operating expense account. And then all of a sudden, oh crap, I've got bills I got to pay, but it's in profit. And so look to see where you're at, and then take small baby steps to help you get here. And I'm not saying this is do or die, you've got to get there. This is a guideline. You need to also see, what are your goals? What are some things that you enjoy doing, right? And factor that into it. But these are just a guideline to kind of get you there. So then you got to figure out, well, how often am I going to do this? Are you going to do it weekly, bi-weekly, twice a month, monthly? Realtors, when you sell a house. And it just depends on the industry and how often. If you are a W-2, if you have payroll for your company, then I recommend aligning it with your payroll. It just makes things a little bit easier because payroll is usually the highest, if not one of the highest expenses in your business. And then while you process the payroll, that same time period, you're also doing those allocations. Okay. Now, with Profit First, there's so much more, and I only have a short period of time to share all this with you, but this is how you make it happen. You assess it. You look to see where you're at now, okay? And you see where those percentages are, kind of where you want to go, and you create a game plan on how to get there. We call it a financial success game plan. Then you actually start implementing. You open the bank accounts, and then after you've opened the bank accounts, you start doing that. You get into the rhythm of allocating. Now it's the maximization, optimization. This is where you go beyond just implementing it, but how can I better increase the profitability of my business? And that's honestly a lot of the structure of what we do. But anyone that reads the book even can do a lot of this if they have the self-discipline. So I mentioned earlier, Profit's probably my favorite account, because what happens is at the end of every quarter, you're going to pay yourself half as a profit distribution. So let's just say you started small, right? And you put money in there and there's $200 in there. Well, $100 is going to go to you as the owner. That's a profit distribution, or like a bonus. And to be honest, you're supposed to reward yourself. Go celebrate, go have fun. The other half is to help build up an emergency fund. And there's a lot more uses you can use for that account, but that's the foundation to help you kind of get things started. When I first did this, my profit account was so small, I went and got an ice cream cone, right? So now I'm building up that to where I can take my families on vacation and do the things I really enjoy in life. So you want to find someone who is accountable, okay? And that whether that's a coach, whether that's a colleague, a business partner, a spouse, and someone else implementing this, that's what you want to focus on. Okay, so here are your next steps. First of all, if you haven't already, like I said, step 0, you need to separate your banking. Okay, so if you need help with banking, feel free to reach out to me. We have what's called Profit First Friendly Banks. Relay is actually one of them. Leveragemavin.com/relay. And they can allow up to 20 bank accounts for free. They have free ACH in 1 to 3 business days. It syncs with all the accounting software. Like, there's so many benefits to that, but it's online. It's not in person. I know sometimes we want that. So we have a list of those as well. So if you need help with finding that bank that allows you to do that without the minimums, without the fees every month, feel free to reach out to me and I can help. Build a better budget. Get with YNAB. Get into there. And if you don't already have a budget, figure out where are you spending your money, because if you're just doing that bank balance accounting and you're seeing where the money is going, do you really have a good idea how much you're spending on marketing and advertising? How much are you spending on your people? And not having to wait till the end of the year, what come tax time, and you see all those totals. You should be looking at those numbers consistently and a regular basis. I would say no less frequently than monthly, but I look at my numbers weekly. Okay, doesn't mean you have to, it could just be, oh, I look to see what's in there, I'm good, right? And sometimes it takes more time because you're doing things, but you want to be sure that you have an idea of where you're spending your money so that you could better use that time. How many times have you joined a gym membership in January? We're getting ready for a new year at the timing of this, right? If you join a gym in January and then it's July and you still haven't gone to the gym since January, you probably need to cancel that gym membership. Well, it's the same thing with business. Are there softwares that you subscribe to? Someone offered a free 7-day trial and you forgot to cancel, right? So those are things that when you build a budget and you actually look at where you're spending your money, doing an expense analysis can be a whole nother thing where you're looking at every single thing. But when you build that budget, you kind of are already doing that, right? And can help you make better decisions. And then you want to find an accountability partner or a coach. There's too many people that have come to me and said, Profit First is so amazing. I read the book like 3 times. Great. Where are you at with your Profit First journey? And, oh, I've opened my bank accounts, but I haven't really been doing it. And a huge part of that is when we're in business, we have all these other responsibilities. And so to have to go set the bank accounts up and then figure all this out and I'm not saying you can't. I've had people do it successfully. They just needed a little guidance and then they're on their merry way and they've been doing amazing. But some people need a little bit more hand-holding, right? And you need that accountability to make sure you're not stealing from that profit account to go pay something, right? Then after all of this, after you get the understanding of this, get your butt to the bank and go open those bank accounts, or go to leveragemaven.com/relay and open those bank accounts. Okay. If that's really step one, because if you don't open those bank accounts, then you're not going to be able to do profit first. Now, I will say some people have been able to use YNAB as a tool to profit first instead of the bank accounts. I personally have tried that, and I was not self-disciplined to be very transparent enough to stick to it. It was so easy to just move money around. Whereas if it's a different bank account, well, I got to log into my bank and then I got to transfer, and then it was a little bit more time that I didn't want to put into that. Okay. All right. So these are your next steps. This is what I want you guys to do. Okay. And if you need help or have any questions about this, feel free to come reach out to me. This is my contact information, and I want to offer to you guys, I mentioned earlier that you need to figure out where you are now, what your current percentages are. Well, I have a free profit snapshot for you right here, leveragemaven.com/snapshot, or scan the QR code. This is my contact information if you just have some questions. But when you do the snapshot, it's just going to ask some key information, numbers from your business. And then you're going to get an emailed report showing you where you stand. So you know, hey, I've been spending 54% in operating expenses, so maybe 30 is not going to cover it. You start there and then taking baby steps, gradually get to there if that's what your goal is, right? And where you want to go. So Tim, that is what I all had today. I'm so excited, and I appreciate you again for inviting me to come speak and share all of this with your audience, and just love to help and appreciate you.
You know, when I did my virtual events before, I'm gonna pull your your thing off. So, oh yeah, yeah, there we go. So that when I did these before, I didn't know you. You know that. Yeah. When I stopped doing these, I didn't know you, and it's just funny. And Gina today, our featured speaker today, didn't know her either when I last did these, and it's so unique. Now I knew Steve. I know him many years, but it's funny now. Even now, I keep meeting new speakers. That's probably why I needed to bring this back.
And I met Steve before I ever met you.
Yeah.
I've known him for a long time. Yeah.
It's a great world that we live in. The self-help world is great because there's so many people in so many different niches, but we all know each other.
Yep.
One way or another. So great message. I appreciate you. Make sure you put your information in the chat, and do it on both Facebook and as well as in the chat here, so we can do it. At the end, I'm going to bring everybody's back up. So as long as it's there for me.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks. All right, let me move around here. And before I bring our next speaker in, who is one of our featured speakers, I'm going to play this neat thing here. It's a little commercial for my website business. All right. And the reason I'm going to do it is I'm going to share with you is because when I talk today, I'm going to share with you tools that I actually do this, and I'll share how you can build one of these for your business.
Is your website attracting the traffic and engagement it deserves? At SimpleEasyWebsites.com, we specialize in transforming ordinary websites into extraordinary experiences. Our experts know what it takes to make your online presence stand out and succeed. Gain valuable insights and tailored strategies with our professional website review. Don't let your website be just another page in the digital world. Visit SimpleEasyWebsites.com now and book your consultation today.
So that there is a commercial video that I make. Now, number one, I'm going to share with you my time today. I'm going to share with you how you can get the tool and do it yourself, or I'm going to share with you I can create those videos for you for as cheap as $47. All right, per video. So you want to find out more with me, just reach out. But today's next speaker is a featured speaker, a keynote speaker. And people ask, well, what's the difference between your guest speakers and your keynote speakers? Well, the keynote spots are available for those people who have a website with me or in my mastermind program. Gina just happens to have a website with us, so she gets a featured spot today. She's going to be, she's a little bit bigger time slot than everybody else. And that's why, all right, because those people I promote them. All right. If you're in my mastermind, if you have a website with me, I'm going to promote you. All right. To make your business more successful. It's just part of what I do and reaching out to this audience. So that's why Gina gets a little bit extra stuff today, as well as Gina, will probably talk with me a little bit more than anybody else because she's a customer. She's a client that I like to take care of. So let me bring her up here on the stage real quick. Hello, Gina. Oh, your mic's on. Yeah, your. Oh,
You're right. I did that earlier just to make sure I didn't make any noise in the background. So sorry. Hi.
hi. Again. All right. The last time I did these, I didn't even know you.
No. Well, how long ago was that? Because I've known you for what, about a year?
You've known me for a year now. I want to say the last one I did was August or July of 23.
23. Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
I kind of at that point was like, okay, but that's the time then the websites was starting to pick up, and I'm like, man, it was too much to balance. All right, I didn't have the systems down for the website. Now I've got a better system down, thanks to people like you who organize me. All right.
Come on, Tim.
No, I like. So I'm going to tell you this. This is how the relationships work with a lot of with the people who have websites with me. Is they can text me, they can email me, all right, anything. You sent me an email and with a one sheet for your speaker. I want a speaker page. So like we took the idea that's on your workshop page and we're duplicating that into a speaker page with everything you have.
Oh, great.
Because that's all she had to do was send me that information and we went to work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured it was easy to just send you that. So yeah, and then you can figure it out.
It is. I mean, it is. And yeah, we should have, so, we're planning on having it live by Monday morning. So that was the goal. We're working on it still. So awesome. But like in the beginning, like when you first came to me, it's like, we had a site that just told who you were up in like 24 hours, but then we perfected it. All right. And I love your design. Yours is one of the cool designs we have out there, but yeah.
Oh, thank you. Well, it was a joint effort, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did. We worked. Yeah, you and I worked together quite a bit on that, and it's not. I don't think you ever had to yell at me about anything. I don't think so.
No, and I'm not a yeller anyway. So
yeah, you're a very, very sweet lady. So anyway.
I am.
Well, I'm going to give you the stage. All right, you're not sharing any slides or anything today. Just you sharing. All right.
You're just gonna have to look at me for the next half hour.
Well, that's good. Well, you've got 30 minutes. All right. Like I said, I'll give you 5-minute warning on the screen and a 1-minute warning on the screen, and then wait for you to call me back in. I'm right down below in the green room. So
Okay, sounds
Gina
great.
Covelli.
All right. Well, hello everybody. My name is Gina Coviello, and I am a self-love coach. And I'm going to talk about self-love today. This is a super important topic. But before I get started on my presentation, I have 3 questions that I want you guys to just think about. So these are very simple questions, and I don't know, you might want to write them down because I'm going to ask these questions and then I'll talk about them again at the end of my presentation. So first, I want you to think about who is the most important person in your life. Now, I know you've got probably several people that are really, really important. I need you to pick who is the single most important person. No, you cannot pick 2. It's just 1. Who's the top priority in your life? Okay. So that should be an easy one to answer. All right. Number 2, what is your biggest, boldest dream for your life? I'm not talking about the next year or 2. I'm talking about life accomplishment. What is that big, amazing dream? And you might have more than 1. Again, I want you to just pick 1. I'm going to share with you while you're thinking about that. I'm going to share with you what my big dream is. I think it's a pretty big one. I am here to change the world through self-love, and I want to actually be on stage, literally, with people like Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama, working to lift people up and help them achieve their greatest life possibilities. So I think that's a pretty big stage to get on, and that is my big dream. So I want you to go that big with your dream. Okay. So now the third question, what's your internal conversation about how likely are you to achieve that dream? You might be thinking, oh yeah, it's a done deal. I'm halfway there already. I am definitely going to do this. Or you might be thinking, you know what? I don't know. I'd love it if I could do that. I'm not sure I'm capable. Or you might be thinking something like, never going to happen. Not even not in the realm of possibility for me. Okay. So what's your internal conversation about how likely is that dream to come true? And it may sound nothing like the 3 examples I just gave. That's totally okay. Just how likely do you think you are to make that dream come true? Okay. So now, like I said, I'm going to come back to those 3 questions towards the end of my presentation. I want to talk about self-love. I really think that self-love is one of the most important topics on the planet. Self-love obviously is good for you in your own life, but the way we communicate with each other, the way we interact with each other, your self-love ripples out into the world. And if everybody were in a healthier state of self-love, I really think there would be no war. There would be no reason for people to attack other countries or other, locations for resources or whatever. I really believe that if we were all in a healthy state of self-love, we would be able to solve our economic problems. In the United States, healthcare is a really big issue, and I think we would be able to work efficiently to get everybody quality healthcare. At a reasonable cost instead of the ridiculous cost that I think it is today. So I really think that self-love, if I can get everybody into a happy state of self-love, the world is actually going to be a better place to live in for everybody. Okay, but what is self-love? Because self-love is a term and a topic that is becoming increasingly in everybody's awareness. I hear people bringing up self-love all the time in my personal conversations with people, as well as we hear about it publicly as well. And I'm really, really happy that self-love is becoming a more common theme. Because like I said, I think it's the answer to everything. But I think that self-love is largely misunderstood term. I hear people saying things like, well, I'm going to the spa. I deserve it. That's self-love, right? Or, I'm going to buy myself a fancy diamond ring. I deserve it. That's self-love, right? That is not necessarily the way that self-love works. That's not what self-love means. Self-love is actually how you show up for yourself in your life. And you're showing up for yourself in a way that is consistent with knowing and believing that you are worthy in every moment of your life. Even when you feel like you're being a doofus, you are still worthy. Even when you are making some big mistake, you are still worthy. You are enough. Even if you are getting rejected, you are worthy and you are still enough. Okay. And self-love is showing up for yourself in a way that demonstrates that you understand you are worthy. So in the sentence that I gave you, it's about knowing and believing that you are worthy. So the knowing is your conscious mind. And I know you know this. Your conscious mind is the things that you are aware of. Okay, you know what your hopes and dreams for yourself are. Those are your conscious thoughts. Subconscious, though, is what the believing part is, the subconscious mind. And the subconscious is the things about yourself that you are not aware of, right? Sub meaning below, conscious meaning your awareness. Your subconscious are things that you're not aware of. And I will tell you, because this was my experience, it is entirely possible to consciously love yourself, but to subconsciously hate yourself. Okay, and that is how I lived for over 50 years. Today, I'm not going to go into my personal story. If you hear me speak again sometime in the future, you might get to hear my personal story. But I grew up believing that I was unacceptable as a human being, that there was something seriously wrong with me. My subconscious did not think I was worthy. Consciously, I had big hopes and dreams for myself, right? I wanted an amazing, romantic relationship. I wanted to get married to an amazing guy. I wanted to have all these great things in my life. But subconsciously, my subconscious didn't think I was worthy of those things. And so I ended up with all these unhealthy relationships. And I have struggled financially for several years. It's because my subconscious didn't think that I deserved those things. And that is really, really key, is that your subconscious has to be in alignment with your conscious thoughts in order for you to achieve those things. Okay, and I'll get to that in just a minute. I wanted to finish up explaining my definition of self-love. So I said that it's showing up for yourself in a way that is consistent with knowing and believing that you are worthy. And so what is the worthiness about, right? And it's, knowing that you are enough. Being worthy and knowing that you deserve things like safety and security in your life. You deserve to have a happy, joyful experience while, for however long you're here. You deserve to enjoy your time here. You deserve to have healthy relationships. You deserve to feel loved and supported. You deserve to be abundant at all times. Those are the things that you are worthy of and that you deserve. And so showing up for yourself, knowing that you deserve healthy relationships, is going to help you set healthy boundaries and manage those relationships to ensure that they are healthy relationships. Okay. So this also draws in the law of attraction. If you're familiar with the law of attraction, in a nutshell, it says that you attract to you what you believe you are worthy of, which is what I just talked about, right? Knowing internally, subconsciously, that you are worthy of having a happy, wonderful life, okay? The world around you, your life, is a mirror for how you feel about yourself, okay? It is reflecting back to you your internal beliefs about yourself. If you have relationships that are not exactly happy, not fulfilling, not reciprocal, that is a signal to you that you have some repair work to do internally. If you are in a job that you don't love, that is a signal to you that you are not listening to your internal desires. Okay. If you don't have great health, now there are some aspects of your health that you can control and some aspects that you cannot control. I am referring to those aspects that you can control. If you are not happy with your physical and mental health, it is because you're not taking good care of yourself. And I hope that doesn't upset anybody. I'm not trying to make anyone out to be a bad person. This is just the world showing you how you feel about yourself. And I encourage you to really take a look at your life. If your life is not amazing, if you don't feel like you have it made right now, that just means that you have some internal work to do, okay, in the area of self-love. And the previous speakers, both Stephen and Jen, talked about things that really relate to self-love, right? Finding your why, finding your purpose. That is your internal, desires talking to you. That is self-love. Jen talked about financial well-being, right? She's talking about your business, but really it's financial well-being, period. That is self-love. To safeguard your financial situation, that is self-love, right? So I'm going to move on now to your choices that you make in life. You make millions of choices every single day, right? You're not aware of it because it's your subconscious making decisions for you. You've probably heard, or maybe you haven't, people who study the mind, they really study this stuff. Going down a flight of stairs, a simple task, right? That most of us do a little bit of almost every day. If your subconscious weren't controlling that, you wouldn't be able to go down that flight of stairs safely. Right? Your subconscious is judging how tall is the stairwell? How deep is it? How fast am I moving? How much do I need to bend my knee? Right? Those are all little teeny tiny decisions that your subconscious is making in the background that help you get down that flight of stairs safely. Now, we make I think it's in the millions of decisions every day, most of which are controlled by your subconscious. You're making a few conscious decisions every day or choices, but your subconscious is on autopilot, right? Because we can't sit there and be in control of how to move down the steps. We wouldn't be able to have a conversation with someone else as we're going down a flight of stairs, right? It's great that we have this amazing tool that the subconscious is, but it runs on autopilot. And we are often not aware of the choices that it is making for us. Okay, and this is where self-love comes into play, being aware of some of those choices. So any choice that you make consciously can be a self-loving choice. It can also be a self-loathing choice, which is the opposite of self-love. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you're going to lunch with your workmates, okay, and you're going to a restaurant that you've been to before, so you know what food they have, and they have a variety of food. And you're thinking, they have this amazing pizza. It is full of cheese and bacon and sausage and all this stuff that I know is not healthy for me, but boy, is it amazing. It tastes amazing. And you're thinking, you know what, I've been really good for the past 3 or 4 weeks. I've actually eaten really, really well. And I can have this one, splurge. I can treat myself to this amazing pizza that I know I'm going to love. So I'm going to order the pizza. Now, is that a self-loving choice or is that a self-loathing choice? In that moment, that is actually a self-loving choice because you've been eating well and you know this is a treat. I don't do this frequently. I'm allowed to have something that maybe isn't nutritionally good for me once in a while. That is okay. And I'm going to have this treat and I'm really going to enjoy it because I've had it before. I know I love it. So that is a self-loving choice. You're going to choose to enjoy the moment and you're aware, I'm making a choice that maybe is not loaded with vitamins or fiber and all that sort of thing, but I'm really going to enjoy it and I deserve to have this treat. I've been good. I'm going to allow myself to really enjoy this pizza. In that moment, that is actually a self-loving choice. Now, let's say though, when you get to the restaurant, and all of your colleagues or friends, whomever you're with, they all start ordering salad, with a lean protein of some kind. And you're noticing one after another, they're ordering these nutritionally healthy meals and you're ordering pizza and you haven't ordered yet. Okay. And you're thinking, wow, they're going to think that I'm really unhealthy. They're going to not approve of me ordering a pizza. Maybe I should also order a salad. That way they're not going to, make fun of me or tease me or think badly of me. Okay. Is that a self-loving choice? No. Again, in that moment, you're making a choice based on what you think other people are going to think of you. You're seeking outside validation. That is not a self-loving choice. Even though it's nutritionally super healthy, it would probably align with your health goals for yourself. But if you're making that choice because you're afraid of other people's judgment of you, then that's not self-loving, that is self-loathing. Because that choice says, I am not worthy unless I order a salad. And the reality of it is you are worthy whether you order a pizza or a salad. You are still you. Your value and who you are is not in the meal choice that you make. So ordering that pizza, once in a while, and you're really going to enjoy it, then that's a self-loving choice. Even though the salad is nutritionally healthy and better for your body, absolutely, there's no question on that point. But you're choosing something to make you happy in that moment that is not really overall, is not against your health goals for yourself. You're only doing this once in a while, okay? So any choice that you make can be self-loving, or that same choice can be self-loathing. What matters is your reason for making that choice? Is it to support your being happy, your fulfilling your goals and your dreams? Or is it that you are seeking some form of outside validation? Are you making a choice from a place of love? I deserve to have a treat once in a while, and this is okay. Or are you making a decision from a place of what I call fear, which is the opposite of love, which says, I'm not good enough unless I make this choice, or I'm afraid of missing out on something unless I make that choice. Okay, those reasons for making a decision are not self-loving. So it's the intention behind your choices. And we're not always clear on what our intentions are, because a lot of our intentions, right, are subconscious. And we are not always aware of what is going on in our subconscious mind, right? Often we're not aware, because like I said, it is on autopilot. And we don't know what's going on in the background because we're not paying attention to it. So one of the things that I encourage you to do is to start paying attention to the choices you are making. What are you eating for lunch today? Are you going to go on that walk that you really want to go on? Or are you going to find an excuse? Okay, the subconscious is key to having a fulfilling life. If it doesn't agree that you are worthy, then you cannot achieve your goals and dreams because your subconscious won't let you. It's going to tell you, you're not good enough. You don't really want that. They're not going to like you. You're going to miss out on all the fun if you don't go, right? It is planting ideas in your mind to convince you of what it thinks you believe. And I'm sure that you are aware of, you've experienced this, right? So let's say that you're trying to lose weight. Okay, I've totally experienced this. I'm watching what I'm eating. Okay, I used to be a sugar addict, and chocolate chip cookies were my favorite thing on the planet. So if I'm trying to lose weight for 2 or 3 or 4 days, I can be really good. After 2 or 3 or 4 days, though, my subconscious starts saying, hey, Gina, remember there's some cookies in the cabinet. It'd be nice to have one, wouldn't it? Right? And I'm sitting there going, no, I don't want that cookie. I'm doing great. I've been good for 3 days. I'm going to keep losing this weight. I'm doing good and I'm happy. No, I don't want that cookie. Okay. 2 minutes later, remember that cookie, right? Your subconscious keeps coming back at you time and time again. And it is going to noodle at you until you give in. It doesn't think you deserve to lose that weight. It's not going to let you. Okay? Or let's say by some miracle, if your subconscious is not in alignment with your conscious mind, let's say you do end up achieving that goal. Let's use, I know we had the Olympics this past summer, so I'm going to use an Olympic example. Let's say you're an Olympic swimmer and you have just won the gold medal for whatever your event was, right? You're standing on the podium, you've got the gold medal around your neck. I'm going to use my necklace here, and you're hanging on to that gold medal. Maybe you've got a bouquet of flowers too. They're playing your national anthem. This is like the highlight of your life, right? If you are not in a state of self-love, your subconscious is not going to let you enjoy that moment. It's going to come in and say, you didn't deserve that. Second place person missed their turn on the thing. That's the only reason you won. Or maybe they were, a fraction of a second late off a starting block. That's why you won. You didn't really deserve this. If your subconscious isn't on your side, if it's not in alignment with your conscious desires, you will not be able to achieve your dreams, or you won't be able to enjoy them even if you are somehow able to. Your subconscious is going to put obstacles in your way. Okay, so it's very, very important that you get your subconscious in alignment with your conscious mind. And that is the work of a self-love practice. That's what it is. That's what self-love is. is reprogramming your subconscious beliefs to be in alignment with your conscious desires. And once they are in alignment, once you get to that point, you are going to actually be able to achieve your goals and your goals relatively easily, right? The law of attraction will come back at you because you believe you are worthy of your goal. The right people and the right opportunities will begin to enter your life. And you have to take those opportunities. When they do enter your life, you got to recognize them and take those opportunities. But you will start drawing in the opportunities that are going to take you to that goal. That magic job is going to fall in your lap, right? You're going to be in the elevator with, some executive, and the conversation is going to go in your direction. Those are the magical things that happen once your conscious and subconscious mind are in alignment and the law of attraction starts to work for you. Okay. So now I know I'm coming up towards the end of my time. I want to go back to those 3 questions that I asked in the beginning. So 2 of those questions were answered by your subconscious mind, and 1 of those questions was answered by your conscious mind. Okay, so who is the most important person in your life? That is a subconscious answer. I hope that you said you are the most important person in your life. If you said anyone else is the most important person in your life, that's because your subconscious has deprioritized you. And when your subconscious deprioritizes you, your life probably doesn't look the way you would like it to. Not saying that your life is horrible or bad, but it probably does not look the way you want it to look. Okay, it's because your subconscious is getting in your way. It says you're not the most important person. You don't deserve to prioritize yourself. Okay. Second question, what's your biggest dream? Okay, so that is your conscious dream for yourself, right? But the third question, again, is being answered by your subconscious. What's your internal conversation? How likely are you to achieve that dream? If you said anything other than, yeah, it's going to happen, I am already on my way there, then it's because your subconscious doesn't think you're worthy of achieving that dream. Okay? It is holding you back. It's already telling you, dude, not going to happen. You're not smart enough. You're not capable. And I want you to know that those statements, you're not good enough, you're not capable, they're not true. They are absolutely not true. You are capable. You might have to put in quite a bit of time and effort, learning and growing to get where you want to go. Anything is possible. You are worthy of your dreams and your goals. You are absolutely worthy, and you can achieve them. But how much effort are you going to have to put in to get there? That's the question. Some people are going to have to put in more effort than others. Let's see, I have time. I'm going to tell you a little story about myself. For a short time, I was a cabbie stylist. Cabbie is a brand of women's clothing. It is not available in the retail stores. It's like a Tupperware thing. It's through your personal social network. So I took this job as a cabbie stylist just for the short term, just to kind of learn some sales goals. So the first season I did really horribly, but I've never done sales. I did not have a great network. I didn't expect to do really well. My second season, and there's 6-month seasons. The second season, this other woman just joined. So she was new. I was in for 1 6-month season. This was her first 6-month season. But she had been a client. She had been in the cabbie world. I think it was like 10 or 11, maybe even 15 years. She had been a client of this company. So she already, she hosted her own cabbie parties, they call them, where you invite your girlfriends over and then you try on clothes together. It's super fun if you've not done it. She was already in the cabbie world for like 15 years. So she joined. And her first event, she sold more clothing than I did in a whole 6-month season, right? And so naturally, I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, I suck. What is wrong with me? And then fortunately, I was already on my self-love path and I realized, oh, no, 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 no. I have no business comparing myself to her. She's been in this environment for 10 or 15 years. She has a network already established within the CABI environment. I did not. I was brand new and didn't have a network, and I was, never had done sales before. So I had no business comparing myself to her, right? She's an expert within this CABI world. I'm a beginner. I shouldn't expect myself to be as good as she is. But that doesn't mean that I couldn't get there with time and effort, right? And having that conversation with myself to say, oh, wait a minute. It's not that I'm not good enough. I'm just not as invested in this CABI environment as she has been. I can get there. It'll just take me some time, right? That was a very self-loving conversation for me to have with myself, to recognize, okay, I am worthy. I can do this. I just have to put in more time and effort, right? That's all it's going to take. Now, I ended up, doing self-love instead, but I'm sure if I had stuck with it, even at this point, I would be having parties much closer to the level that she was having her first weekend out, right? So self-love is not, a one and done thing. You will not get there quickly. And once you do get there, well, you don't really ever get there. It is a maintenance thing. You have to keep maintaining your level of self-love, something that is a lifelong pursuit. Okay, I see that my time is almost up here. So I want to encourage you to start embracing a self-love practice. I'm going to put in the chat. I need to put it over here in this section. I'm going to put in the chat. I have a free beginner's guide to self-love. It is just a little bit of getting you started, because self-love is a big, long process. So there's just a few things to help get you started. And I also have a quiz on my website, which I've put in there as well. If you want to take this quiz and see where you're at on the spectrum of self-love, and wherever you're at with self-love, I don't want you to judge yourself. Self-love is a practice. And the good news is that wherever you are today, you can absolutely rewrite your subconscious beliefs, and you can achieve your goals. It may take you some time and effort, right, to develop your self-love and then to open up to the opportunities that present themselves. But you can absolutely have the most fulfilling life. You are in control of the quality of your life. The answer is internal. You're not going to find your answers in the outside world. The answer is within you. So remember that a great life starts with self-love. All right, Tim, I am good.
You did pretty good there, Gina.
Thank you. I think it's a super important topic.
Well, that's why you teach it, and that's that to me. That is the self-help industry. Is most of the people in the self-help industry are doing what they're doing to teach themselves, and most people don't get that. I don't know if you know Rhonda Britton. Do you know Rhonda Britton?
No, I don't know her.
Yeah, I know. She was enlisted by Oprah many years ago as America's life coach.
Oh, okay.
I met Rhonda, I want to say it was like 2012. We spoke at an event together, and hearing her story, she talked about how she tried to commit suicide and failed 3 times. And she said, once you try that more than once like that, she says, they kind of lock you up in a room to test you for a little bit.
Right.
And she says, it's at that point she realized I'm a failure at killing myself. So I have to live. I have to find a way to get through this, because I can't succeed at killing myself. And she said she tried all kinds of things that didn't work, but then she tried by writing these little exercises that she did herself that changed her world. And a lady at her church said to her, oh my God, there's a huge difference in you one day. What's different? And she was embarrassed. She goes, well, I kind of created these little exercises that I do with myself, and it kind of helps. And her friend said, Can I get those exercises? I mean, like that's the point when you go, self-help is really, it's you helping yourself, but that magnifies in the world because people now see the light. They see that you love yourself and they go, oh my gosh, I need that. And granted, all right, I may take your program, Steve's or Jen's at any point in time and then go, I need, it's great what you taught, but I need this one little tweak. Yeah. But if I didn't start on your program, I would have never found that one tweak that made the difference for me.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I'm not quite the same as Rhonda. I didn't actually commit suicide, but I got to that point where I wanted to. Yeah. And now people are saying to me, oh my God, Gina, like you're blossoming, right? Yeah. Public speaking 2 years ago, I would have never, ever considered being here. And now look at me. And I'm like, I don't mean to be like, but I think I did a decent job here. And I'm like, wow. And I'm not.
You did a fabulous job. You did a fabulous job.
I don't want to, I want to be humble, but okay. You know what? I'm going to be loud and proud. I'm happy with my presentation. Yeah. But 2 years ago, not a possibility for me. And look at me now. I am seeking out speaking opportunities. So my life has drastically changed because of self-love. And I didn't go into that part of my story because I'm just here to promote self-love today. Yeah.
Well, that's it. I mean, you get to come back again. This is not, it's not.
I wrote down the date, January 11th, 2025. I already wrote it down.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. So January 11th is going to be our next one. All right. The website will refresh today, but there is the application process there for anyone who wants to apply. All right. By all means, all the information will refresh on there in the next 24 hours. And it will be a brand new site for people to come up. And yes, all three of you are welcome to come back again. I think the original run we did of this, I want to say 15 or 20 speeches from Joe Pardo in New Jersey, who's a friend of mine, part of my mastermind for years. And he just kept coming back. And we had Larry Roberts, which a lot of people here in the Dallas area know Larry. Larry, I was one of the first speaking gigs Larry Roberts ever got. And Larry's a well-known speaker now in the AI world and stuff. And I gave Larry a shot. And that's part of what made me learn me, right? Self-love. Yeah. Okay, Tim. Yeah, you can host events if you bring somebody in and they become a huge known speaker. So right. Yeah. So exactly. All right. Well, Gina, thank you. All right. So I kind of told the other guys is after I do my speech here, I'm going to probably, if you're available. All right. If you got to go, I get it. But if you're available, I'd love to bring all this back on for a panel.
Oh yeah. I can do that.
So I promise mine will be much shorter than yours. Probably going to be more boring than your speech. But anyway.
Nonsense. No, don't belittle yourself, Tim.
I won't. Yes, I will not. Coach, I will listen to you.
That is self-love.
I will listen to you, Coach, and I will do that.
Okay.
Thanks, Gina. So, ladies and gentlemen, all right, a great event to this point. The speakers we brought in here today came in here because they learned something and applied it to their own lives. That is one of the unique things that I love seeing in the self-help world. That was the thing that Michael Butler had to push me to go, you got to find it, Tim. You've got to find it. I love the self-help world and I hate the self-help world all at the same time. I'm going to tell you what I love and what I hate. I am always loving the fact that I can find new tools. I can find new ways. I can find new I can find my new steps, right? Whatever it might be. I love that. The thing that I found out that really bothered me in the self-help world, and I'm going to be honest with you, and you're not going to see them on my event because I've seen them everywhere, is they're the people who are out there selling, training, teaching, speaking, and they're not the people who go into the back room and apply what they just taught. They're not someone like Gina who went, oh my gosh, I'm struggling with this. I'm going to help myself first. They're not someone like Steve who went, hey man, all right, I'm a man in my family and I'm going to learn this and I'm going to get better at this because I got to lead my family. They're not someone like Jen who goes, you know what? Sorry, I stepped on your brand. My bad. Let me fix that. There is a world out there in the self-help industry that bothered Tim Gillette, and that's why I had to change. I had to go find it. It's about Tim growing. It is not about Tim finding the next guru. granted, I love Zig Ziglar, and I'm never ever going to put Zig down. I would not have gotten into the self-help industry if I didn't wash Zig's car. Right? That's a huge stepping stone. I looked into helping him wash his car. When I get done helping cars, Zig said, "Tim, you'd be a speaker. You'd be a great speaker." I still look at my tapes and go, I say and too much, but I think we all do. I was watching an interview this week of, I want to say it was Adam Sandler a couple of years ago on either Jimmy Kimmel or the Tonight Show or something like that. And I watched how many times he said and ah. And I'm like, dude, we all do it. We all have faults. We all have things we're trying to grow through. Just grow through it. Quit trying to be perfect, because none of us ever are. This past 2 weeks ago was the election in America. And I don't care which side you voted for. I'm proud of the fact that you voted. I don't care if your candidate won or lost. I'm proud that you voted for the candidate that you voted for. And being in the self-help industry, I see a lot of people in the self-help industry who are all about self-help, except for if you vote for that candidate. That bothered me. I'm like, you're in the self-help business. You're teaching people, help this guy. But you can't help this guy because that person got elected. I don't care if that person is your president, your congressman, your senator, your local mayor. Self-help doesn't rely on who got into whatever office it is. Period. It relies on the fact that you got up and helped yourself. You are the one who changes your world. Not Tim Gillette, not Steve Reed, not Jennifer Perez, not Gina Covelli. Gina, I always mispronounce your names. One of these days you're going to have to dream it into my head. Anyway, they're not the person who's making the difference in your life. You are making the difference in your life. I can tell you who I think was the best person to vote for president, but I know my own kids and I disagreed on that. I still made sure my kids went and voted for the person they thought was right. That still mattered to me, even though they were voting what I thought was wrong. Don't judge them for it. That's their vote. They earned it. And in my country that I live in, America, it's your vote. And you vote for it. But that person you're voting for is not going to affect your life as much as you think they're going to. In America, still, you can stand up and do what you want. You can build your world. You can build a better world for you than you have right now. I hope if you look at this event, and as we go on into our events, and we're going to continue to call this, all right, the learn and lead type concept. There are going to be people coming in here who may be on step 1 teaching you to get to step 1. There may be people like Steve on step 42 teaching you how to get to step 35. There may be people like Jen who are restarting the steps. All right? But Gina said it, and she said it in a very, very unique way. You're never going to get there. You always got to keep working on it. I love that, Gina. That was so great to hear, because we always have to keep working on it. I knew that today was not going to be the most awesome virtual event. Ta-da! No. I knew this was going to be like, like what do they call the first pancake? It never turns out right. The first one always looks weird. Yeah, you eat it anyway. It tastes good. I mean, pancakes taste great. You just do it. I am so thankful that, as many of you know, I've said it many times, he's been on this event. He'll probably be back on this event because he's my friend, as well as my coach. Craig Duswalt got me off my butt. All right. Craig Duswalt said, just schedule it and do it. And I remember my very first podcast that I ever did. I interviewed my friend Tiki Kev. Some of you guys know Tiki Kev. Maybe one of these days I'll bring Kev on here. I'll tell you, because he's a great friend of mine as well. It's one of my high school best friends. Tiki Kev was my first interview. Our interview went for 30 minutes on Blog Talk Radio. And I can tell you, I knew the 6 people who were listening. There's my Aunt Jean. God bless you, Aunt Jean. My cousin Cindy, my oldest cousin. I think my mom was listening. Possibly my wife. All right. And maybe a friend of Kevin's. Most of those people have seen every failure I've ever done. They've watched me stumble and fall through everything. And all of us are worried about, well, I can't get out there and stick my nose out yet because of the fact I can't write. I can't do a video. I can't talk on camera. I don't look cool. My hair's out of place. My clothes don't fit, whatever it might be. And you're judging yourselves. Don't. This event is going to be, from now on, it's going to be one of these learn and lead events. You're going to learn something, and then you're going to go lead others to do the same. I like that theme. All right. And I'm going to tell you, truthfully, the things that I've learned over the past year is, number one, I started the website company. And it's out there, right? We do websites. We do Gina's website. Go check it out. All right. We did her website, and we update it on a regular basis. I have several other people that I do. Just Gina just happens to be the one I'm promoting today because she's in here at the event. We specialize in a 5-page template website. That's our specialty. We can get a website up for almost anybody, and a working website in 24 hours. Our first step that we do with our customers is we actually reach out to them and say, hey, give us your basic info. And we get it up and working so there's something up there. The reason that was I had a client who was in my mastermind for years. Love this guy. I must have asked him 100 times in the 3 years he was in my mastermind, dude, when's your website going to get up? When's your website going to get up? When's your website going to get up? And his answer every time was, and this is not the exact words, I kind of fabricate this to make fun of it, is, well, my aunt's new boyfriend's son is working on it. And that's, that was the metaphor for so many people in the self-help industry. Well, I'm trying to get this before I can get there. So I said, website, dude, I can throw a website up in 24 hours. It may not be perfect, but at least has my basic information out there in the web. And that was a metaphor for life. Well, get it up there and correct it as you go. I've been a fan of that my entire life. Go try something. Told my kids, try something and fail at it. You will learn more from your failure than you will jumping out there and being successful the first time. As a matter of fact, I can tell you that I learned more in every business I've ever done by the failure first. And if I was successful at first, oh my God, I crashed and burned afterwards somewhere, and I had to learn how to pick myself back up. And those were the greatest learnings I've ever had. I built that concept out there, guys, to get the website out there, to get it up and going, to get it going through things, to get the people's marketing their information and getting it out there. That's why we did it. And truthfully, I'm going to be honest, this is my entire system. I never, ever, ever have hid my systems from you. I learned this through the pandemic and through slowing this event down and kind of figure out the new system. I started the website company because everybody who's ever been on my podcast had to sign up for my email newsletter list. To speak here today, you have to sign up on my email newsletter list. Why? I'm always building a list. Yeah, Tim, but what are you building a list for? Because I simply go to the list, like I did in 2023, and I said to the list, hey, what are you trying to do in 2023? And what tools can I help you find? And you know what, everybody, the majority of the people wrote back and said, an affordable website solution. Now, normally I would reach out, and I did. I looked out to see, well, who's out there that I can refer them to. And in this case here, wait a minute, got the tools. Wait a minute, my daughter could be trained to run this company. I could get started and get it going. And then I went, wait a minute, I've always wanted to do that 90-day challenge, start a business in 90 days. And if you watch the TV show Undercover Billionaire, where they had to walk into some strange town and create a business. Like, I've always wanted to do that. Let me try it. So we did. And we created a business by asking the list, what do you want? Now, you're on my list. You're going to get an email that says this year, hey, Tell me about 2024 and what we can help you find in 2025. Here's the unique thing about it. When I ask that question, if you say to me, well, I need somebody to teach me how to run my finances so I'm profitable. Great. Let me kick my friend Jen Perez. Hey, I need to learn how to love myself. Great. Let me connect you to my friend Gina. Hey, I need new ways to get leads. Great. Let me connect to this new lead tool we've got. We partner with a company out in California that gets people leads. You want to find out? SimpleEasyLeads.com. My brand is Simple Easy. Why not? Everything I find, I just partner with people now and I send people there. Hey, I want to learn AI. I'm not going to go learn everything about and teach everything about AI. There's 1 million people who were teaching Bitcoin last year that are teaching AI this year. And next year, all right, when we're all selling Santa Claus outfits, they're going to be the Santa Claus experts. It's not me. My foundation has been, and it has been written down in my notebooks many, many years ago. My mission has always been in the self-help industry, and it always will be. That's why websites worked, is I want to help 10,000 people get online. I want to help them build an audience of 10,000 people. And with that audience, I want to teach them and have them figure out how to make $10,000 a month with it. And that's why we build websites, because we're getting people online. We're building websites for people that helps them generate leads. And then we have a mastermind for people to come in and figure out how to process that and make it work so that they can be making $10,000 a month. If you don't have a business making $10,000 a month, guys, you need to grow into it. Not saying you're a failure yet, just saying you need to grow into it. $10,000 a month is a point for a business that you need to set out as your goal. Right, Jen? I think Jen will agree with me on that. Yeah, it's the place to be. And I think Jen and her husband have got multiple businesses going because they want to get each one of those businesses there. That's why she does what she does. Anyway, not here to do anything fancy with this. I wanted you guys to give you that. I am going to show you one tool today that we found. If it's for you and you want to find out more, I'll tell you, go test it out. All right. One of the things I showed you was the video. Let me see if I can go back here and pull these. So this is another one we have is our mastermind video. Same concept we use. I'm going to play this one real quick for you.
Welcome to the Simple Easy Mastermind Membership Program, your ultimate pathway to entrepreneurial success through the 7 pillars of success. Imagine having personal mentorship, group training, and a wealth of resources at your fingertips, all designed to help you excel in business and life. From strategic investments to marketing, sales, and even internal peace, we've got you covered with comprehensive weekly training modules. Gain exclusive access to past event recordings, master classes, and monthly updated trainings to keep you ahead of the curve. Connect and brainstorm with like-minded professionals in our private discussion group and during exclusive mastermind retreats. Enjoy one-on-one mentoring sessions, accountability calls, and advanced webinars to tailor strategies specifically for your business. Simplify your operations with special discounts on web hosting and automation tools designed to streamline your business processes. Our flexible 12-month program includes a commitment-free trial, ensuring it perfectly meets your needs with a money-back guarantee. Join the Simple Easy Mastermind today and transform your entrepreneurial journey with a community that supports your every step.
So yes, that's my mastermind program, but that's a video. Number one, that's a video. That video was 1 minute and 7 seconds, and it was created using AI. Now I'm going to share with you today an AI tool that we created it with, and I'm going to do this right now. The first person to put in the comments their website, we're going to use them as a tool to teach how to build this today. So first person to put their web there in there, we will actually do that. And in the meantime, I'm going to hit the present share thing here. And we're going to go to this screen right here. We're going to share it. I'm going to do it this way here, so it's a little bit bigger. So you can see here's this new thing called Quantum AI. Simple, easy AI tools will get you there and get you a thing. You can try it out for $47 a month. All right, try it out for 1 month. If you're afraid to spend $47 to try something to learn your business. I spend more than that on dinner last night, guys. Invest in your business. Jen Perez will back me up on that one. But This one tool right here that I'm going to click is this one right here. I'm circling called Video Genesis. I click on there and I take Gina. This right here. See Gina's little thing there. All right. And I happen to have her. Wait a minute, Gina. I actually happen to have your thing, your homepage up there anyway, because of the fact that I was just working on your page. But I put it in there. The only thing I got to watch is I can't double do the HTTP. I'm going to do it one time. And I'm doing a hype commercial for her. I get advanced settings that I can do. I can change the voice. Let's go with Charlotte. Let's give her classical music. 6 slides. And all we do is we hit create. And it's going to be, as you say, it says it's going to take 7 minutes or something. I'm going to leave it on the screen so you can see how long it really does take. All right. You're just going to watch the process and see. And then we're going to watch the video that actually creates about Gina's thing. This is just one of the many 40 some odd tools in this thing for $47. Now, if you don't want to buy the set and you just want to buy this video that we create for people, we actually create these videos for $47 a video. And as you see, you're seeing all the work I have to do, but it includes editing and stuff if you want it done. Jen, I just seen your comment. So Jen Perez, all right, she can't read. She puts her email address in there. But Jen, you have this tool, don't you? I think Jen has this tool. But anyway, so you guys, this is simpleeasyaitools.com. It is a suite of 47 AI tools. If you're not good at writing prompts, this here has all the tools and prompts. All right. And you can go check it out. If you buy for $47, I get like 20. So, I'm totally upfront and telling people what I get. It's an affiliate promotion that we work with the guy who has this. And I think I put the link for $47. The name of the tool again is called Quantum AI, Steve, Quantum AI. And I will put in the comments, somebody puts in the comments for me, type simpleeasyaitools.com and I can bring it up on screen. But if I do that, I can get all you to type. But, and I'm only showing you one of the tools. I'll go in and show you into some of the other tools here and show you in a minute. This is just my way of sharing with you. I personally use this thing every day for all kinds of things. All right. And I will pull out and show you in a minute once it creates the video. I'm trying to see how long it does really take to create the video because it's combing. Right now, it's combing Gina's website and looking at it. And it's pulling up all the information. And then you will see everything it pulled from it. It is not anything that I went and typed in. It pulls it. Now, I may have to edit it. All right. And I'll be able to show you guys how to edit and everything. And if you kind of look at some of the history ones there, you can see ones I've created for my own event. I've created them for other people, things like that, that are in there for people to see. And 5 minutes. Boy, Gina, you must have a lot of stuff on your website. It's taken a while for yours. Usually I get it done a lot faster than that. But I personally say, so I am telling you guys, yeah, for $47, if you don't like it, it's month to month. Next month you don't like it, just cancel it. All right, it's not a big deal. I jumped on board on this $47, and we were talking about white labeling it with Simple Easy, but I don't think I have to even white label this. I can just refer it out to you guys as an affiliate. All right. Yes, I do get paid if I refer it out, but those are people we partner with in the world of people who can serve our clients the same way that we, with different products. So, well, I mean, we're 3 minutes in and it's still not done with your combing your site, Gina. I don't know, man. I must admit, that guy who did your website must have really made it complicated. I don't know. Having a lot of fun with this, but after I get done with this, all right, I'll show you one other tool into it. I can probably come back to it. Let me try it out because it says I can come back. But some of the tools it has in here is there's a logo one here. Logo Beast shows some of the logos that we've done in the past. If you look at the Simple Easy Marketing Virtual Summits there, if you look at ours, that's where we got the logo from. These are one of my other clients' logos. But you basically put the information you want here, describe it down here, and it'll create a logo for you. Some of the other things he's got in here is he's got this build a buyer, and the build a buyer was, I mean, you give the demographics, it'll tell you the demographics of who your buyer is by putting some very little information in. Where was it? The other, there's an image one that I was trying to find and I can't find it. Anyway, there is an ad. All right, there's a write a press release that'll give you all the stuff that you need. You basically fill in all those different things, and it'll write the press release for you. Blog Master, it'll help you write blog posts. And Funnel, well, the Funnel Builder is one that I have because and the website one is one that I have because the guy, he specifically gave that. It has a thing here, create an irresistible offer. And it'll tell you what to do, all right, your market segment, things like that, and it'll actually print it out that. And there's one down in here that will write a song or a jingle for you. But a very, very unique one that he has in here is real competition. I'm trying to find the real competition. Why can't I find it? Probably not in my thing. Business Finder. Market segmenter. Here it is. Real competition. Most of you don't know who your real competition is. All right. Is why he has this in here. I put this in for the websites and it told me who my real competition was. All right. This is how I'm going to segment it out. But real competition. Most people don't realize, and this guy, John, has used this, who created this, has used this as an example many times. If you're a chiropractor, your real competition. I want to see if it says it can't crawl your website. Oh my gosh. I have to go figure that out. Gina, what the heck? Why won't it? Let's try that way and see if it does it again. Interesting. Why that didn't work? It should, and I've had that before, but I mean, some of the ones I've created in here, guys, is this is my friend Gladys Boutwell, who does my podcast with me. Can start how to launch. I think this one here is for. Okay, this is a podcast event I did. It's not showing it. It's not showing it on the screen, so I have to make it so it does the actual. Hold on. Stop share a minute. Start share, and I'm gonna do the whole entire screen. There we go. Entire screen. So now I can show you exactly what it'll do. So that's one of them I did for mine. Still creating on this one here. This was one we did for. Oh, this is Gladys Boutwell's. I did. This was for my podcasting program. So, and we're still trying to get Gina's up here because I wanted to see it. I wanted actually for it to create. Of course, it's going to give me a hard time today. Anyway. and I love it. So, but yeah, as it creates it, it's one of the coolest tools in there. By all means, you know what I mean. If this is something that interests you, go check it out. If you have any questions onto it, you can create as many as you want, Steve. So he asked how many videos you can create a month. You can create as many as you want. So we actually, because one of the things we do as a tool is we're actually offering this to people to create the videos for you. We do 2 a month for $97 a month is what we're doing as a package. But we know that I create tons of them for everybody every week. So that's why I'm able to do tons of them. You can do as many as you want right there. I mean, the $47 for all of this, and you can do as many videos and all the other things. Gosh, just this one tool, you can actually start selling videos yourself and make enough money to pay for this thing in a matter of seconds. To me, I always find things that'll pay the bills for me in the background. So simpleeasyaitools.com will take you there. All right. And I've not looked it up to see, but we'll see. I didn't even look at the sales page. Simple Easy AI Tools. This is the sales page for it, and $47 a month. And it shows you this pretty much the screen that shows there. And if you see when he was previewing it, I was actually on the call while he was previewing it and sharing it out to it. And he shares what a lot of these are in here. And then he has a way that you can create your own. And in there now he has, if you see in mine, it still didn't create it. I don't know why it does not like your website, Gina. I'm sorry. I got to pick somebody else's website. What the heck? It just does not like Gina's website. So I did this one here, though. I'll do it this one here. I need to get the correct. Of course, it's going to fail on the day I'm trying to share with you. You know that. If I wasn't trying to share with you, it would not have this problem. So, and I'm trying to share it live. If I weren't trying to share it live, anyway. So we'll just see if it comes up. Anyway, the whole thing, the whole idea of why I brought this up is you got to be learning something new, but sometimes you got to learn when to hire out. You got to learn when to hire out because you got to realize sometimes you can't do everything. I'm not a guy who can write all the stuff that people wanted me to write, so I started using AI tools to find ways to do it. Now, I don't take everything I get from the AI tool and just post it. I go in and edit it. Many people out there are just going to take the AI stuff and they're going to just pass it off as their own. They're never once going to edit it, never once going to do any of that stuff to actually make it authentic. And what it's going to do is create a world full of AI videos that most people have never edited, and they're going to be able to tell that they're AI videos. So in this case here, guys, learn to use AI properly. I did it. Jen, I don't know if you see me do it for our master networks. I do one of my showcases there where I spend 10 minutes sharing about my business. And one of the things I do is I talk about this idea of learning and being a learner. And one of the things that I learned to do during the pandemic was I built that guitar. I can't play a guitar. So here's what I did. I built the guitar, and as part of my showcase, I'm showing people, I says, one of the things I learned in life is if you really can't do something, find somebody who can do it and make enough money elsewhere and pay them to do it for you. Or sell a product or service and find someone else who can fulfill it for you, right? Hire a team that can do it for you and learn to find ways to make money doing it. That's called business. That's how you be successful. And I did my presentation like that, and a guy in our group, Dan, his name is Dan. And Dan, I said, okay, Dan, come up here and play something on the guitar. And he got up and he played the opening to Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train on my guitar in front of the room. And I'm like, see, the guitar works. Anyway, so as you see, it just brought up that video. This is my wife's company. All I did was type in the domain. So, is the sound coming through on that or not? So Okay, so yeah, there wasn't sound in the video, but anyway, that's how quickly it created it. And then if I wanted to edit it, I go into edit it, and it gives me each individual slide, and I can change the words. I can change the picture. All right. I can regenerate that, download it, upload new media, so I can upload a new photo. So I could pull a photo. I put this photo of Jen right in there, like that, and now you see Jen Perez in there. Just what they want. They want Jen Perez in their hospital gift shop. But that's how basically it can be. And then I can just hit the regenerate. I can add a scene to it, and it gives me a whole nother one here that I upload the media myself, and I type in the words I want. Fancy tool. That's just one of them on there. So, any questions about it, by all means, just reach out to me. I will glad to get on you one-on-one on a call with you and walk you through it. That was one of the things that I wanted to share today. Was the other thing I wanted to share. The other thing I was going to share today is, yes, I do have a mastermind that is a cross between a mastermind and a coaching program. I call it the hybrid mastermind, and the reason I do it is because I like to help people. And what I'm offering for the end of the year, and you have to go in here and apply. You have to put information and basically put an application in, because there's not a button, just click here to pay. I'm sorry. I want to talk to you and find out that you qualify in it. For the end of the year, all right, you want to try it out. I'm offering it for $47 a month for 1 year. All right. The standard price is $197 a month for the people who are in it. You get to come in and try it. If you want to try it for 6 months for $47 a month to month, all right, let me know. Reach out to me and talk to me. That's all I'm going to do, because I believe everybody wins. But other than that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and bring me back on here. And what I want to do now is kind of close things out. Is I want to bring back on all of our speakers today. We're going to do a quick roundtable and talk about a couple things, and talk about how they're changing in their world and how we're going to change the world in our own ways. So let me see if I can bring everybody on one by one. Look at this. Look at this. Hey, all four of us fit. Hi, guys.
Hi. We're a mini Brady Bunch.
Yeah. So and now I know Steve and I know Jen, and you guys know each other. But I mean, Gina, you didn't know any of these guys, any of us, did you?
No, I didn't. No, and I'm so happy to meet you guys today.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Yeah. So, is this your first speaking engagement, Gina, is what I wanted to ask, or if you spoke someplace else before?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm speaking usually in person, but no on Zoom. I do a free workshop every month. So there's that, but I do speak a little bit in person. But yeah, I've only been speaking for about a year, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And are you liking it as a side thing to bring in business, or are you just speaking as a speaker to speak?
It's partly both, but mostly for my business. But I have to tell you, because I used to be afraid to even express my opinion in a small group like this,
yeah.
The power to feel good about speaking has changed my life.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't have become a coach had I not started public speaking, right? So it actually changed my life. So it really is like after I speak every time, I'm like, good job, girl. You're not afraid. You're not stumbling over your, it's a night and day difference for me about just being comfortable speaking publicly. And I'm thrilled internally for me that I can do this comfortably now, because it used to be something that I completely hated and dreaded, Yeah. So a little bit of both, actually.
No, I hate getting on stage, and I actually had created ways to get myself comfortable on stage.
Yeah.
So like in the early days, I don't know if you've seen me do this. Steve might have seen me do this. I used to get up and do a quiz with people, and it was a quiz about stuff for my business to find out information about them. But by the time I got done that quiz, I was comfortable on stage, and it was all about, interacting with the audience. Right. Because I didn't know how I was going to start. And that was what I did. My friend Craig, he throws T-shirts out. Now I get up and tell, if you see me now I get up and tell the cat joke. All right. I get up and tell how to wash a cat. And it is my favorite thing to do. I started doing it because I'm like, well, this is one way to get people not to hire me to speak anymore, is I get up and tell a 10-minute joke on a 20-minute talk on how to wash a cat. And the more I told it, the more people wanted to hire me to speak. Like, well, that didn't work.
You were too good at it.
Well, it's a funny joke. Anyway,
Yeah.
Steve, how long you been speaking?
Probably 35, 40 years.
Okay. What and was it originally what you were planning on doing when you started your career, or was it something you kind of fell into?
No, I mean, I started coaching about 33 years ago, but I had gotten involved in network marketing decades ago. I think my first look at network marketing was when I was 18 years old, fell in love with it. And my parents gave me some sage advice, and they said, Stephen, you're in college. And I got the message. And then shortly after college, I started my first run with my first experience with the Amway business. And I loved the products and the concept and so forth, but I loved sharing with people. And I knew that God had given me knowledge and wisdom in specific areas. And my passion is to help people. So I just wanted to share my knowledge.
And it's funny that I think all of us have done multi-level marketing, and all of us have been in it one company or another. A lot of us older people were in Amway at one point. I remember going to the first time I ever seen an Amway presentation, and this guy Tommy was doing the presentation. And I remember I said to him, "I want your job," and he says, "I have no job." I said, "No, I want to be in the front of the room talking to people." That was 35 years ago.
I hear you.
And I ended up getting out there speaking. So it's interesting how that worked. Yeah. Anyway. And Jen, all right. How long have you been speaking?
I'd say probably 5 years.
Yeah.
So it started off just doing like the master networks and workshops and things like that. Probably was maybe 2.5 to 3 years ago that I actually started speaking like at main stages on at conferences and things like that.
What's your favorite one? Your favorite main stage you've spoken on?
I would say Connect, which is Master Networks National Conference, and I say that because a week prior I was at Craig's event on how to be a better speaker, and I learned some things. And so last minute, kind of like you mentioned earlier, is I changed it right before I went on stage of what I was going to talk about, and so. The one thing he always said is sometimes you have a block of time in some places you got to be done at that end time. And one of my things were that I got a lot of great feedback from it. I love the audience interaction with it. But at the end, I said like my thank yous and my liner, and then I turn around to go walk the stage. I looked down real quickly to look at the time clock, and there was 9 seconds left. That was the as a speaker,
victory.
That was exciting.
I always like to finish early and never go over my time when I was on someone else's stage. And I think, Steve, you've seen me on every Ziglar presentation I've ever done. I think I always finish early, don't I?
Oh, well, not all. But
not always. No. Did I go over once? Yeah. I don't know.
Good.
I don't know how much time. I've never told how much time we get. So
well, it starts at 7:30. You start speaking at about 7:32, 7:33, and then it's done at 8.
Yeah.
But I mean, if people go over, they go over. I mean, it's if you have to leave the meeting, you leave the meeting.
Yeah. Now that there's Zoom, we but in the early days, we had to drive down to the location, and then a lot of people, they had to go to work. So a lot of them older people. So, Gina, what do you think that's one of the things that you're going to do in the next year to grow your business?
Growing the business. So I am working on developing. So I went straight into coaching, and that's like a high ticket item. I'm looking for lower cost entry point items. And so what I want to do is develop like a video course, that someone can go through at their own pace. So, and I think I might be working with someone who uses AI to at least develop the script, and then I'll just record me. But so that's one thing that I'm going to be working on this year is producing the online course video offering kind of a thing.
Well, no, and you just recently moved over to Kartra, and which is what I use. I know Jen uses Go High Level, but same thing. I put all of my courses in there. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. So hopefully I might be asking you in a few months how to do that.
I actually could get into the backside of her. So yeah, so that's where her survey is that you mentioned, her quiz. is her quiz is actually on my Kartra because her level doesn't come with quizzes and surveys.
Yeah.
So it does on mine, but now like once you finish the quiz, to get the results, you have to go to her opt-in, which is something I think I taught you in the beginning. I'm like, no, you got to get their information.
Exactly. Get that email info, right?
Yep, exactly. So, Steve, where do you think your business is going to go next year?
Well, I just launched my second podcast. I did one podcast for a couple of years. The title of the podcast was Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve.
Mhm.
And we talked about things that people don't want to talk about.
Okay.
It was all clean. It was all family friendly. But this one is called Maximize Mission Success. And so the whole intent with that is to pull in some of the things, Gina, like you were sharing this morning. I just did one yesterday that was all about the fundamentals of overcoming obstacles. I've got a series that I'm doing on forgiveness and self-love, and I'll do a series on affirmations and the self-talk that we do. And I learned a long time ago, Gina, what you were saying is have an intermediate type of an option for people. So that's what this book is. I mean, this is the first step. And the second step is I have an online course already. It's called Finding Emotional Freedom. And then the third step is we do private coaching. I don't do group coaching with the emotional trauma things.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah, people they'll share some, but will never get deep down to the really core stuff. Like, when I was 3 years old, my dad used to put cigarettes out on my bare legs and arms. People don't share those kinds of things in a group setting, but they will on an individual basis. So it's a step type program. You start with the book, you go to the course, and then you go to the private coaching. So I'm just really expanding. Back to your question, I'm really trying to develop the Maximize Mission Success.
Cool. And how about you, Jen? What are you doing next year that's going to grow your business?
So I've learned that, what I do, I get to see kind of what's behind closed doors. And again, a lot of privacy. There's a lot of emotion around money in business and personal. So I am in the process of creating more content of video. I'm sharing with people that I'm vulnerable and transparent. I've probably been where they've been before, and writing a book to kind of share how open I am about all of that. Planning to complete the book by Thanksgiving and then work on getting it all published before the end of the year. So that'll be exciting. It's something different that, I've been told by a few people, be creatively different. I am what's called an outgoing accountant. That is like an oxymoron. And I wanted to take it one step further. So that's kind of where my focus is going to be.
Okay, cool. If are any of you going to run your own events like this in the coming months? Tell me about it.
It's a possibility.
So I have an event. I haven't marketed it yet, but the place is all taken. The venue's all done. Basically, May 1st to the 3rd, a Thursday through Saturday, I'm having a Scalable Success Summit. So it's going to be very workshop style, small group, like no more than 35 people. Have different speakers, but it's in person, and it's 3 whole days. And it's really, you're going to take action during the 3 days, not just learn everything and then go take action. You're taking action then to expand when you leave. So I haven't put all of the speakers together yet. I'm working on that now in the outline, but that'll be coming at the beginning of May.
Cool.
And that'll be in Frisco, Texas.
All right, cool. Steve?
Jen, I like that, because if you just brought speakers in and all they do is talk, it's not an experiential thing.
Yeah. And
you're going to lose at least a third of your audience by doing just that. But because they are interacting and it's hands-on, that'll take the credibility of the event up significantly. So I commend you for doing that. But doing a live in-person event in Frisco for 3 days, that's bold. That's bold.
Frisco isn't that bad, ladies and gentlemen. Really, I've been to
No, it's not.
I live near Frisco, so it's not bad at all. But no, in person, right, is a big deal.
Yep. And I've got hookups. I've got connections because of Master Network. So I was able to get a really great deal on the venue. it
Good for
just,
you.
I mean, yeah.
Good. Where are you going? So sorry, like I said, I'm an hour south of San Francisco. Where are you going to
No,
be?
she's in the town of Frisco, Texas.
Oh, I hear Frisco means San Francisco to us. Sorry.
No.
No, we're in the good Frisco.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to have words with you.
Oh, we aren't going there. Yeah.
Hey, okay, I'm kind of in the middle. My 24-year-old son just moved to San Francisco, so
Oh, yay.
Couple
Okay,
months
good.
ago, yeah.
Good.
Interesting. So, what is one thing that that each one of you that one parting word you'd like to leave with the audience?
Chocolate. No.
Dark chocolate, it's good for you. It
Oh,
raises your copper
That's
levels.
true. I prefer milk though, but you're right. Dark chocolate is healthier. I'm going to say the best thing you can do for yourself in your entire life is learn how to love yourself in a healthy, beautiful way. It is the best gift you will ever give yourself. It has changed my life. And I strongly encourage you to pursue embracing self-love practices. And again, it is a lifelong practice. There is no end game. It is because stuff continues to happen that you have to continue to maintain. But, you know, love yourself in a beautiful way. It's the best thing you can ever do for yourself.
Cool.
Yep.
Steve, Jen?
John, go ahead.
I guess I would say be intentional. And a
Mm.
lot of times, and I've learned this the hard way this year, is I was having fun with things, but sometimes sales came across right in front of my face and I didn't even think about asking for the sale, for example.
Mhm.
So be intentional and go open those bank accounts. Even if you just open the profit account, start allocating 1% for every deposit, you're now driving profit intentionally. And that'll at least get you started into that habit.
Mm.
Cool.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Good
Steve?
advice. I'm gonna leave you with a couple of things. Number one is, Gina, it's not specifically for you, but it's for everybody. If you're new at public speaking, get involved in a local Toastmasters club.
Right.
It will help you. You will see so many things. And if it's a good club, they will come along beside you. They will encourage. They will give you some coaching, some training, give you opportunities to speak. They will give you opportunities to listen. So I spent about 25 years in Toastmasters and absolutely loved it. So that's number one. Number two is, along, Gina, again with you, in the programs that I teach, I always talk about the things that we are telling ourselves. What is the self-talk that you're sharing? Exactly. That is so true. And I had a client several years ago. She said, I'm ugly, fat, and stupid. And we figured out what the root cause was of that. And it goes all the way back to when she was 10 years old and her grandfather passed away. He was the one that fed the positivity into her. And she started listening to the playground buddies instead of listening to good stuff. So what are you telling yourself? And that is so critical. Probably the last thing is I share this story a lot with clients. A traveling sales guy comes up to this old country store. There's the proprietor is sitting on the porch in a rocking chair. He's got this old hound dog that's laying on the porch. And about every 2 or 3 minutes, that hound dog would let out with a little yelp. Finally, after 4 or 5 times, the sales guy says, why is your dog, howling like that? And the owner says, well, he's laying on a nail. Well, why doesn't he move? Well, it didn't hurt him bad enough to move, just enough to complain about it. So stop complaining and move.
Yeah.
That's the foundation of it. Stop complaining and move.
Yep. Beautiful.
That's good. So, and mine, guys, just go out there and do it. All right. Be courageous enough to fail. So that's my parting words today. So, all right, guys. Well, one more time, tell everybody your websites and we're going to end this thing for the day. Start with you, Gina.
Yep. CoachGinaCoviello.com. I know my name is hard to spell. COV like Victor, IELLO.
Cool. And Jen?
LeverageMaven.com.
Okay. And Steve?
I love that. Stephen Reed Ministries, and that's Stephen with a PH, STEPHENREED Ministries.com.
All right, guys. I appreciate all three of you for coming in and joining us on this first one here. We hope to see you back soon. So,
Love it, Tim. Thanks.
Thank you
thanks,
so much.
guys.
Thanks.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up this Simple Easy event. I appreciate you all for coming in and attending. Those of you who are watching this on the replay, all right, by all means, take the things that you learned today and put them into action for your life. Our next event will be on January 11th, 2025, simpleeasyevents.com. You can actually get the details, all right, as well as apply to be one of our speakers. And yeah, so you're applying for a 15-minute speaking slot. We will have 2 people who are 30-minute slots that are in either our mastermind program or they are our website customers. I want to find out more about that. All right, give us a call, Simple Easy Websites. In the meantime, guys, thank you for tuning in today. I will see you soon. Have a good day.